What is going on? Have you ever eaten a banana and made eye contact with a stranger? Then you might want to play Slaanesh. This army is awesome, and right now we're going to talk about Shalaxi Helbane. Does this model make it into every list? I don't know, but we're going to go through a little deep dive on its stats, some possible strategies, and you can decide for yourself. I think this is one of the most beautiful models GW has put out in a long time. The regular keeper is awesome, but this one is just above and beyond amazing with that pluming hair and that big spear. It is so cool. When you see this thing built on the tabletop, that spear is so impressive. This thing stands like as tall as Magnus. We got Shalaxi Helbane coming in at 14 power level. I think this is a good way for a new player to start playing 50 power level games until you start memorizing some of your stats and characteristics for your army. And she is going to come in at 260 points with the whip, 270 points with the shield. She has a very impressive stat line with a move characteristic of 14. Unfortunately, going to lose movement as it gets wounded. Weapon skill 2, ballistic skill 2, strength 6, toughness 7, 16 wounds, 6 attacks that do drop as she gets wounded, leadership 10, and he has a 6+ save. The armor save is very disappointing, but it is a demon, so it has a 5+ invuln save. Now I know what you're thinking. If I'm paying 10 points for that shield, that's going to make me way more survivable because this thing is a lightning fast demon from another realm, right? From the warp. This thing is faster than Captain America, and he can block all kinds of stuff with his shield. So what does her shield do? Each time this model loses a wound, roll a 6+, and you don't. Not very good at all. 6 up, feel no pain, essentially. And if it's a mortal wound, you do it on a 5+. So, okay, it should just be a 5+, or even better, like a 4+, or even better, just like a 4 or 3 up armor save, because small arm fire is going to just take away too many wounds. And if you get half wounds, you're only move 11, which is unfortunate. Now, move 14, pretty sweet. Possible first turn charge. You're a demon of Slaanesh and a character, so you can run and charge. And everybody around you within 6 can also run and charge, so that's going to be pretty powerful. With a 6 or 14-inch move, and basically you're going to be 24 inches away minimum to reach your opponent on a normal like Dawn of War setup. So you're going to need to roll your run, probably hoping for, a 4+ on your run, puts you about 18 inches, and then about a 6 to 8 inch charge, and that should put you in combat first turn. I think this model is a little too fragile, though, to be deployed in the beginning of the game. I think you're going to want to spend a stratagem, 2 command points, to put this in reserves. That's going to save you the 1-turn las cannon squads and tanks and Imperial Knights just blowing her head off immediately. So 2 command points, put her in reserve, and hope you get a 9-inch charge on the second turn. But if things go well, a lot of your opponents might be tied up with your units, and you'll be pretty safe on the second turn. Or gamble on going first, run across the battlefield, and try to stab somebody. This model is a beast at killing characters. You are going to kill just about any character you touch, whether it is a vehicle character like an Imperial Knight character, or any little character on foot, any other greater demon, pretty much anything, you're going to stab it to death with your spear. We got the Soul Piercer, which is a melee weapon. You're swinging it at strength 12, -4 AP, D6 damage. Every 6+ to wound is a flat 6 damage instead of D6. Not D6 plus 2, just a flat 6. So basically you're wielding a Reaper Chainsword if you roll 6 to wound, but that is only triggered against characters, which is unfortunate. That thing should trigger against everything, because I don't know why that spear going through a character wouldn't also go through a vehicle, but whatever. And there's a few little things like that on this character that just, it seems like it's going to be awesome, and then it falls a little short. But it is an amazing model, and I do have one. So, I'll be building one and painting one, and I'm excited to do so, and I'll try to make it work in game, but it feels a little disappointing. You got a lot of things to kill characters with. So with that weapon, On a 6 up to wound, you do a flat 6 damage against characters. Your Warlord trait you have to take if this character is your Warlord is called Quicksilver Duelist. We will be going through Warlord traits in another video, but it basically means you reroll all hits and wounds against characters. So once again, if you strike first and you're Slaanesh, so you do, you're going to smash a character. Now, the hard part's going to be getting to go fight a character. The Snapping Claws, you get to make in addition to your 6 attacks with your spear. And the 6 attacks with the Snapping Claws are coming in at Strength 6, AP 3, 3 damage. And if you roll 6s to wound, it's AP 4. So plus 1 AP if you roll 6 to wound. So that's a possible 18 extra damage this character can put out. Pretty awesome. You're a greater demon, so you give a 10 leadership aura around you, which is cool, right? Leadership's always good. You want your demon not running away. So it has 2 other auras, or not auras, but 2 other abilities. One is subtract 1 to hit rolls in melee, and one is to subtract 1 to wound rolls in melee. So things fighting you in hand-to-hand combat are -1 to hit you and -1 to wound you. So if somebody does strike before you, you might be able to survive it. Like if a Blood Angel's captain or somebody smashes on you, they're going to hit you on 3s or 4s, depending on what kind of magic hammer they got. And they're going to be wounding you on 3s because they're probably going to double your strength to wound you on 2s, most likely. It might go down in their Blood Angel, so +1 to wound, but probably wound you on 3s. So hopefully you make some 5-up invulns. You do have 16 wounds, which is pretty impressive, but you're losing attacks on both your claws and your spear from your profile going down when taking wounds. So I think that is something a little unfortunate, right? It'd be nice if you just lost ballistic skill instead, because instead of the shield, for 10 less points, you can take a whip. It's a 6-inch assault 6 whip with strength 6, AP 2, flat 2 damage, and you can target units within one of you like a pistol, but unlike a pistol, you can target other units in combat within one of your friends. So you can't normally shoot a pistol into combat unless you're a part of the combat. She can whip into other combats. And because it's an assault weapon, you could move 14 with a run and still shoot it 6 inches. So you might be able to get a little bit of use out of that. But I think you want to take that stupid shield because you're going to want that 6-up, feel no pain, because you just have to live. You're too expensive to be like a distraction. And I don't think you're going to absorb enough firepower like a 4-up Imperial Knight invuln, where it takes a lot of their army to bring you down. I don't think it's going to take that much. A few big cannons get through, and all of a sudden you're cut in half, or whittled away to a low stat line, low movement. You'll go from 11 to 7 when you start getting really wounded. It would have been really cool if the Forced Warlord trait here was the +3 move characteristic, making you move 17. You could take that on a normal keeper, but you can't take that on this one. So that's what you're getting. You also get a little extra special rule for being the Shalaxi Helbane that you are, you banana-eating fiend. Whenever this model piles in and performs a heroic intervention, it can move up to 6 towards the nearest enemy character rather than the nearest enemy model. So there's a little bit of play there. If an opponent leaves a character within 6 of you, then you basically, if there's a unit within 6 of you and a character within 6 of you, I guess. I don't know how that would work exactly, but you can pile in 6 and heroically intervene 6 inches. So you might be able to pull out a sneaky heroic intervention into combat if your opponent's not paying attention where they place their models. And the fact that you can go towards the character, even if it's not the closest, might be able to give you a little bit of play. And I don't know. You also, one strong ability is you get to cast 2 psychic powers. There is one in Slaanesh, we'll get into the psychic powers eventually, that you can give a unit -1 to hit. Now, if you give a unit say they had a Knight Gallant, and you gave it -1 to hit, and then it charged you and had another -1 to hit, you might survive that fight. Plus it has -1 to wound, and you have a 5-up invuln. I don't know. Kind of interesting. There's also one that's a -1 leadership aura, and you're pretty fast with your running, especially even if you make that charge, that -1 leadership aura might come into effect for some of your other little units. And it will come into effect when you're dealing with the epitome, where they need to make a 3d6 leadership test to fall back, and you would be giving them a -1 leadership. Sorry, I'm on the wrong page. You'll be giving them a -1 leadership to basically fail that a little bit more. But let me double check one thing real quick. This spell's called Phantasmagoria. Warp charge value is 6. If manifested, enemy units must subtract 1 from their leadership characteristic until the start of your next psychic phase while they're within 12 of the psyker. So move 14 plus 12, 26, then you run, say, 29 inches or whatever. If you can get the epitome up there too, to make people not able to fall back, all of a sudden your army's safe from shooting, and it could be a powerful thing. So pretty interesting. Not the synergies don't feel like they're all there. A double caster is always strong, but the little epitome is a double caster and it can't be targeted, so that's kind of cool. I think you go for glory with this model and you deep strike it in and hope you roll a 9-inch charge, or deep strike it in and then it's a distraction on turn 2, assuming you have saturation of targets in your enemy's face and maybe they can't deal with it like they could have if it was just standing across the table and they got first turn. So that's all we got for Shalaxi Helbane. Hopefully you're enjoying these videos. I am cranking out a ton of Slaanesh videos in July. So many that we started June 30th. So hopefully you subscribe if you like Slaanesh, or if you like painting, or if you like anything. We got a Patreon. We got links to cool things to buy online below, Amazon and eBay. I got an eBay store. And this month we're talking Slaanesh, and we'll probably throw in a few painting and other kind of videos here and there. So hopefully I see you in the comments. Adios.